Hi everybody, Kathryn Kamman here. I'm out here at one of the answer plots walking the corn hybridization trial and our EXP trial. So our trial that has all the experimental hybrids in it for Emergence and early season Vigor. With the CROPLAN brand, we rate these two things, Emergence and Vigor, on a 1 to 5 scale. 1 being the best, very consistent, came out of the ground, super uniform. 5 being pokey, slower, nowhere near as consistent out of the ground as what we'd want. So when you think about these two different scores, it's almost an art as much as it is a science, because you know, a 1 here where there was rockstar emergence might be a 3 somewhere else where maybe there wasn't as good seed to soil contact when planting, or maybe they got a pounding rain right after they planted. You know, stuff like that really causes uneven emergence, so just be aware of that and possibly go out and scout your fields looking at that. So I flagged 3 different plots that have really good emergence, average, vigor, okay emergence, to poor vigor and poor emergence, and so to go look at. So let's go check them out. In the answer plots, we utilized 2-row plots with really good emergence. Every single plant came up and really good vigor. As you can see, every plant's here, like I said, so I rated it as a 1 for emergence, and for vigor I gave it a 2. You can see that all these plants are just about the same size. This one here might be a little bit pokey, but they're all consistently right there at that V2 or almost at that V2. Here's another little pokey one, growth stage. Okay, we just looked at a plot that was rated a 2 for vigor and a 1 for emergence. Here we're looking at a plot that's a little pokier, a little bit more uneven out of the ground. As you can see, again, just 2-row plots. These are all consistent, but these guys back here in this second row are fairly inconsistent, from just a spike to V1 to V2 up here. So I would rate this plot, here's a big miss. That plant didn't come up. That guy's just coming out of the ground. So I would rate this plot overall as probably a 3 for vigor, there's another smaller guy, and a 2 for emergence, saying that most of them came up, but not all of them. You can see there's another gap that didn't come up. So just a pretty average plot overall. Not as good as the first one we looked at, but definitely better than the third one we're going to look at here in a bit. We're now looking at the third entry here. This is probably the poorest one that I've seen, that I'm going to show you guys. It's down at the bottom of the rankings. You can see here, you can't hardly see this row because they're just spiking. There's a spike, there's a spike. That guy's almost at V2, next to a V1, V1, spike, spike, neighbor. So you can see that this one's super inconsistent. It's super up and down. Here there's a gap. No seeds are coming up there. You can see again that it's super inconsistent. There's some misses where plants aren't coming up, like right there. So overall, I would rate this plot here as a 5 for vigor, just because it is so up and down, and probably a 4 for emergence, where probably 80% of the plants are up, but you're still missing 20% of them as well. So here there was a big, you can see from here to here, a big gap. So I dug up these 2 seeds, and you can see this guy, he was still under the soil, but he'll probably be coming up in the next day or 2. This guy was a lot smaller. The coleoptile on it is only about 1/4 of an inch, so he probably still has 3 to 4 days to come up, if he makes it that long. So you can see overall, this plot nowhere near as consistent or as well-rounded as the first and even the second plot or entries that we looked at. Now that we looked at a really good looking plot with great ratings for both emergence and vigor, a moderate plot that was, you know, pretty average when you look at the vigor, it was a little bit up and down, but it was still fairly consistent, and just about every seed came up, produced a plant. And then the third one that was down in that range of 4 and 5 ratings that we don't really like to see, that really did struggle to come up. It was really stair-steppy, as well as some plants, some seeds didn't even sprout or emerge. So when you're looking at my ratings from the answer plots for both CROPLAN and all our partner brands, keep this in mind, and also go out and scout your own fields. Get to know the different hybrids and figure out, you know, which ones come up the fastest as well as the most even, as it is great to know, especially when you go into next year's planting season.